Hello Onion Creek Club, this is Lonnie Alexander, your Director of Instruction. As a teacher, one of my pet peeves is understanding the difference between a chip and a pitch and knowing when to use both correctly. Right here I've got a little 30-yard shot, and I have a couple of balls in the fairway and a couple of balls in the rough. For those of you that just think chipping and pitching are the same, in my vernacular, a chip shot is when you're using your shoulders only with no wrist and no elbow bending. If you can make this simple pendulum, some people will call this chipping motion a bump and run if they're using it from 30 yards, because I'm using an 8-iron. Very simple motion, my feet are close together, my arms are locked, I'm trying to just move my shoulders to hit this bump and run. I need a runway, and I don't have any tall grass between me and the flag. I'm here on original number 7, and I have a clean look at the back of the ball. You can't chip from the rough because you got too much grass between the club face and the ball, but you can definitely hit a chip or a bump and run with an 8-iron by keeping your arms straight, using your shoulders, and you're keeping that low. And I got that chasing all the way back there to that back pin on number 7 original here. Again, it's about a little 30-yard shot. A chip shot, again, is when I'm using my shoulders, taking my wrist and elbows out of it. My ball's not even carrying to the green, landing short of the green, and then running back to the hole. Again, I'm hitting that shot with an 8-iron. That's a little 30-yard chip shot, sometimes called a bump and run. Now, the pitch shot would be needed from 30 yards, certainly when I have a bunker or something to carry over, but in this case, I've just got a rough lie. It's not tremendously a bad lie, it's just got a lot of grass around the ball. And as y'all know, in this early summer, we've been getting quite a bit of rain, so that grass is really growing. So you need to be able to hit a pitch shot. So I've switched to a sand wedge here, and this I'm going to hinge my right elbow and my right wrist, and then I'm going to pivot. Notice I don't unhinge. That would be bad pitching technique. I'm going to hinge and pivot. Very fundamental for us coaches to teach this, but it gives me enough energy to get through this thicker grass. That ball carried all the way to the hole and stopped quick. That was a nice pitch shot. Again, I'm setting the club by hinging my wrist and elbow, and then I'm pivoting by really feeling the weight get into my left foot. I even finished a little bit on my toe. But I set the club and then I pivot. That pitch shot out of the rough is always going to be a little bit dicier than the bump and run chip as far as the consistency. That's why you want to make sure that you chip when you can, you pitch when you have to. With all this rain, you're going to need that pitch shot, but when you don't have to use it, hit that bump and run. That was about a 30-yard 8-iron chip and a 30-yard sand wedge pitch. I hope this helps you. Good luck.